It's approaching the month of September, which means that there is, as always, another batch of leaks that comes up talking about the potential upcoming Nintendo Direct. Although there's never a guarantee that there will be a Direct, there is precedent that says that there is likely to be a Nintendo Direct in September. Because of this, there's rumors that fly from all sources. Some are reputable, and some are very much not.
You're kidding me, right? The Queen Death delay, that was actually real? Ugh. I gotta put in an image of the Grinch leak or something.
It seems from several sources that this September's rumors revolve around the GameCube. Recently, I've actually got back into playing games on the actual physical real-life GameCube hardware, and I, in fact, have my GameCube with me in my college dorm. I'm sure it makes me the talk of the town, I know. There's something special about the GameCube for me, probably because it was my first Nintendo home console. I just really like the tactile feel of the controls. I love the analog feel of the shoulder buttons, the way the C-stick is a combination of a now standard right stick and the style of the A and B buttons, the controller's design evolution from the N64, the menu design, the actual analog stick, and so on. But more than the console itself, I love the library of games. It seems like almost every single major Nintendo franchise, save for maybe one or two stragglers, got an entry on the console. For some, such as F-Zero, it was the last time they would receive an entry at all at the time of this recording. For some, such as Fire Emblem or Zelda, it would serve as the home for some of the most beloved entries to date. For some, such as Metroid, it would be a space for the franchise to grow in a dramatically different direction. And for some new series entirely, like the subject of today's video, it would be a place to first sprout. Today, I'm of course talking about my favorite GameCube franchise, my favorite Nintendo franchise, in fact, Pikmin. But I'm also talking about the GameCube. You saw the title of this video, and you have potentially heard the rumors. Pikmin 1 and 2 are apparently being remade for the GameCube, according to a recent leak. Frankly, I believe this news sounds too good to be true, but I'm choosing to be excited anyway. The leaks were right years in advance about Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and this could be a leak of the game that is just now early in development, with its excited developers spilling the news through channels that usually lead to leaks. Or perhaps it's been in development for some time, and just now it's being unleashed upon us. Regardless, these rumors exist, and today I'd like to talk about what a game in this style could look like. My name is Vantage Emblem, and today we're talking through remaking Pikmin 1 and 2 and imagining what that remake would be. Part 1. Duality. So, first thing to talk about, why are we specifying Pikmin 1 and 2? That's real simple. Pikmin 1 is only about 6 hours long. A remake of the game on its own probably does not justify a full $60 price tag to most consumers. That being said, if the developers are going to go through all of the effort to make assets and a remake of Pikmin 2, it probably makes sense to tack on Pikmin 1 as well since it's so short. It's likely they'd both be remade together and released on the same cartridge. A lot of maps and creatures of Pikmin 2 are direct asset flips from Pikmin 1, so this content would carry over in a remake too. These models, if recreated and upresed, could be copied and given just minor tweaks to work between the two stories. If you want to get stingy, maybe Pikmin 1 could be DLC for Pikmin 2, but that just seems unlikely to me for a myriad of reasons that I won't get into here, but I'm happy to discuss in the comments. All that being said, remaking both games together also offers a special benefit for the series. If this is done, literally every single game in the Pikmin series, well, the mainline Pikmin series, will be available on one console for the Switch, and in the most up-to-date, freshest form. And this means that new players who may not have wanted to jump into the series with the already out third entry or the upcoming fourth entry will have a chance to start at the very beginning and play all the way through the series without needing to find any old hardware. Though I still do love you, GameCube. Part 2. New and improved. This game has a chance to be more than just an up-resed port, which is what supporters of the idea of just sticking the old games as they currently are emulated onto Nintendo Switch Online suggest. While I'd love if that were to happen, I also understand that might not give the Pikmin games the legs they fully deserve. The gameplay of these games are great, and over the past few years, I've been watching several people I know try the GameCube Pikmin games for the first time. And even though I still find them beautiful, these people have found that the graphics have aged. Sorry, GameCube. I recognize that my nostalgia definitely doesn't help me see clearly in this front, and a new coat of paint could really help these games. That being said, I've seen the work that several community members such as Mr. Tonghua and LazyBoy have done in their hacks, porting GameCube Pikmin maps directly into the Pikmin 3 engine. These maps, the exact same low-poly ones from the original GameCube games, are certainly passable, and even if this cheaper route was the way Nintendo went, these remakes could look stellar. However, I doubt that this is what will happen. I expect if these games are remade, it will be built with assets from Pikmin 3 plus entirely new HD assets made from the ground up. Or maybe just entirely new assets altogether. Given Pikmin 3 is basically a decade-old game at this point, maybe it's going to be the latter. This could lead to a great many improvements on the original. Imagine the Forest Navel in beautiful HD, with brilliant glowing lights in its darkest areas and gorgeous water. Or the grass, concrete, and sand of the perplexing pool rendered in glorious, glorious detail. We'll probably be in an updated engine too, perhaps the one from Pikmin 3, perhaps something entirely new to the series, or maybe even one being used to create Pikmin 4? Hey, I can dream, okay? Creating new assets also means that the caves of Pikmin 2 may be able to become a little bit more unique. Over the course of Pikmin 2, the asset reuse causes several caves to kind of blend together towards the end of the game, but unique assets for each cave could cause these randomized horror pits to feel a little bit more distinct, even more so than before. Even if they don't go the extra mile with this, though, I feel places like the Submerged Castle will be extra eerie in HD. Speaking of the Submerged Castle, imagine an HD Water Wraith. Not only that, imagine HD Bulbman. Or, an HD Giant Bread Bug. I've cried tears of joy to see these things fully rendered in official HD, just like the rest of their Pikmin brethren. Speaking of the creatures that will be up-resed, I wonder if they get new models, or just reuse the ones from Pikmin 3. If we're lucky, maybe they'll be reused, but new. Drawing from the yet unfinished Pikmin 4 instead. Who knows? If they draw from Pikmin 3, will their behavior be more dynamic, allowing for more vulnerabilities like the weak point in the eyes in that game for Bulborbs? Or will they be kept the same as the original for parody? Personally, I prefer the former, but updating behavior begs many questions. For example, would the Bulbears of Pikmin 1 become roving beasts, or would there be a difference between their behaviors in the remakes of the first and second game? I think it's likely we'll see a mix of several approaches, and that we can expect older enemies to potentially have a fresh set of animations, movements, and some quirks, utilizing the power of modern hardware. Speaking of modern hardware, we need to take a second to discuss controls. Will the controls resemble those of the Pikmin game already on Switch, Pikmin 3 Deluxe? Perhaps it will resemble the control scheme of the ever-elusive Pikmin 4, which has yet to release or even be seen. Or perhaps it's an entirely new control scheme. Pikmin 1 and 2 both had control schemes split between their original incarnation and their ports for Wii, and I think we could see toggleable gyro pointing as a result, like that of Pikmin 3 Deluxe here too. This would allow players to use both the original and new play control schemes in some sort of updated fashion. That being said, I think the more interesting questions stem from the controls that were added in Pikmin 3. Will we see Charge make a return? I can't see it replacing the swarming of Pikmin 1 and 2, since parts of those games were literally designed around that mechanic, but perhaps we could see a combination of both present in this game's updated control scheme. Speaking of, would we see updated camera controls too, like that of Pikmin 3? Would we see things like Go Here make a return? How about taking pictures using an in-game camera? How about throwing other leaders? My dream remake would include all of these things, but I don't know how practical it is. That being said, several Pikmin 2 modders have been working on a hack called Pikmin 2 Deluxe that adds some of these features, so maybe it is very much possible. Although, it is important to note that that hack is being developed inside of the original Pikmin 2. On the subject of Deluxe games, Pikmin 3 Deluxe decided to add in quite a few new things that could be way more fleshed out in the remake of Pikmin 1 and 2. Imagine new difficulties that fleshed out each game further for more casual or more veteran players. Pikmin 2 could see an easy mode that perhaps nerfed the instant-kill electricity into something more like a traditional hazard or the entirely stun-based electricity of Pikmin 3, while nerfing purples and giving the game an overall day limit for a hard mode. Perhaps it could introduce new enemies to the areas early on in that harder mode too, giving room for the unexpected, like a jump scare from the beady longlegs on a first visit to the perplexing pool. For Pikmin 1, an easy mode could perhaps remove the day limit, keeping it in line with Pikmin 2, while a harder mode could remix the game and replace enemies with some of those only found in Pikmin 2. If we're borrowing things from Pikmin 2 for Pikmin 1's remake, could Pikmin 1 receive a Pikipedia of its own? I'd love to see differing entries from Olimar's first and second visits, perhaps borrowing from the game's creature reel and the long out-of-print Prima guidebooks. And how about the extra modes like the very different challenge mode carried by both games? Or the famous two-player battle from Pikmin 2? Do they get remade and remain attached as they are to their host games, or do they get remixed and evolved, perhaps learning from Pikmin 3's equivalents? There's a lot of interplay that could come here, with added yellows, purples, and whites into two-player battle, with yellows maybe even given bomb rocks and electricity to work with. Actually, what is the states of yellow Pikmin and bomb rocks? Pikmin 3 established, as originally intended, all Pikmin can use bomb rocks. Is that the way things are going forward, or do we need to go back to the standards of the past? I'm expecting the latter, but I'm truly fine either way. I can't find a source for it, but I read somewhere that the original new play control Pikmin was intended to originally have new content and be more like Pikmin 3 Deluxe. We have some new content here. The excellent modding team working on the Pikmin 2 Deluxe hack have been working on adding extra Louis side stories. Perhaps we could see some new official side stories of some sort here. Maybe these could even bring in winged and rock Pikmins. We'd finally have all the Pikmin types from all the games together in a way like this. I find this unlikely, but it could be a cool way to glue the series together. Part 3. To the Future. Like with Metroid's triumphant resurrection via the excellent Samus Returns remake, perhaps this remake business is an opportunity for a new developer to try their hand at the stagnant Pikmin franchise before being given the keys to the kingdom to finish the long-dormant Pikmin 4. Mercury Steam, a Spanish developer, was given this freedom after their excellent Metroid remake, and it led to the rebirth of Metroid Dread, the best-selling entry in the series to date, and a game that was long left in development hell. This could be Pikmin's chance to shine, especially if this new remake unites new and old fans, and, by appearing on the newest hardware, yields the best sales of the series to date. Since Pikmin 3 Deluxe has released, it seems Nintendo hasn't forgotten about Pikmin anymore, given that Pikmin Bloom now exists, and that we keep getting just a little bit of new merch here and there. If this game truly is Nintendo's grand plan, maybe it revives the series. And, in the unlikely event that Pikmin 4 releases first, maybe that game is such a smash hit that its follow-up is just the cherry on top, making this console, this Nintendo Switch, the place where Pikmin finally has a good home to thrive and survive. Maybe the series will be taken out of life support and can carry on feeling well for the foreseeable future, just like Fire Emblem did on the 3DS, yielding frequent entries and getting way too many characters into Smash. Either way, if these rumors are true, I think the future is very bright for Pikmin. I really do. That all being said, what do you think a Pikmin 1 and 2 remake would look like? Would you be excited for one? Would you buy it? Would you rather just have Pikmin 4 at this rate? What do you feel about the state of the series? Do you believe these rumors? Let me know all this in the comments below. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing or checking out my other videos. I post on occasion, and I'd hate for you to miss it. That being said, I guess it's time to wrap things up. I'm Vantage Emblem, thank you all for watching, and I'd like to see you real soon. I hope you have a great day. Cheers.